This man is one of the greatest leaders in our country.
No, I didn't shrink. This is Magic Johnson. This is Mr. Magic Johnson. And this man is a champion, a winner at every level in life, in love of God,
Yes.
in leadership, and all of it. I cannot be more thrilled and honored. This moment on the Sean Callagy Unblinded podcast with Magic Johnson was a remarkable moment. You got to watch this entire thing. Any final message, sir?
No, first, God is so good. Thank you for what you're doing for everybody out here to help you grow, to help you understand that you can take your life, your business to a whole nother level. Please continue to pray and ask God to help you out. May God bless all of us and continue success. And this man is one of the greatest leaders in our country. God bless everybody.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Magic Johnson.
All
Thank
right.
you. And beat Larry Bird 2 out of 3.
That's right. Beat Larry Bird 2 out of 3. That's right, Larry. Straight to camera. That's right, Bird, man. If you want to be successful, then you got to think that you can be successful and that you can do it. Well, let me tell you this story that very few people even know. So I'm probably saying this for the first time. So this is great.
So here we are with another spectacular guest on the Sean Callagy Unblinded podcast, where we on the Unblinded podcast are helping people see what they don't see about how to grow their financial abundance, time, freedom, magic, and impact in a space of integrity, growth, and possibility. And let's introduce our guest, Tink.
Today on the Sean Callagy Unblinded podcast, we welcome a living legend, a visionary, an artist, a master, whose life is a symphony of triumph and transformation. He is the sunrise that broke through the fog of limitation, illuminating courts and communities with a brilliance that could not be contained. Where others saw boundaries, he saw blank canvases, turning hard wood into a stage where hope soared, and every pass became a brushstroke of possibility. His journey is the epic tale of a young dreamer from Lansing, Michigan, who rewrote the laws of gravity, not just with his leap, but with his spirit, lifting teams, cities, and hearts to heights once thought unreachable. In the crucible of adversity, he became the alchemist, transmuting challenge into gold, setbacks into comebacks, and silence into the roar of millions. Off the court, he is the architect of new worlds, building bridges where walls once stood, planting seeds of opportunity in fields where others saw only stone. His legacy is not just measured in banners or medals, but in the constellation of lives he's touched, each one a star, shining brighter because of his light. Today we honor not just the legend, but the force of nature, who reminds us that true greatness is not what we achieve, but what we awaken in others. Let's welcome to the Sean Callagy Unblinded podcast, Magic Johnson.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
here. So,
And thank you for that intro. Wow.
Mike Tyson and Magic Johnson say wow with their intros, back-to-back wows. We're 2 for 2.
Yeah.
No, thank you for that.
Thank you.
And we mean every word, though. And that wasn't created through AI. That was created with intentionality and heart for the honor and privilege of having you here today.
Thank you.
You stand for so many things. Such a unique champion, legend, master, person of impact. What would you say is something, though, just for a little fun energy to start with, that a lot of people don't hear from you, that you wish the world knew more about you?
I would probably say I'm emotional, and cry at movies and things that really touch my heart. People really don't know that about me, and so I would say that's probably the main thing, is that I'm still an emotional guy. Even though I'm tough and I'm strong and those things that my dad passed on to me, but probably one of the most emotional guys that you'll run into.
Wow. And what are some of your favorite movies?
Well, they're all going to be shoot 'em up, bang 'em up now. So the number one movie of my life is Godfather. That's probably, I've seen The Godfather probably 1,000,000 times, 1, 2, 3, and I think it's the best in terms of well written, the actors, director. I mean, and when you think about The Godfather, it was just an amazing movie. And even if you watch it, for me, 1,000,000 times, it's still great. It's still fantastic. It's still amazing. So that's my number one movie of all time.
Wow. And what do you take away from The Godfather? I think people could take away more from The Godfather.
I think the strategy. I like the strategy, like, from the dad, pass it on to Michael. I mean, it was and it was never about, I just want to kill somebody, or I want to, control gambling or this or that. It was always a strategy to it. And I love when he said no too. It was strategy for him saying yes, and it was strategy for him saying no. And then he told you the reason why he said no. And I think that's powerful.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And how should I refer to you? I feel like pulled towards Mr. Johnson. I know that well. Would you prefer Mr. Johnson, Magic? How should I refer to you?
Whatever comes out your mouth.
Okay. I like
because
okay.
I'm fine with Magic is fine.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I always want to be deferential to your incredible success.
That.
Thank you, Magic.
Thank you.
Why have you been so successful off the court? So many incredible athletes, people of impact. Because what this show is all about is how people can increase with integrity their financial abundance, their time freedom, their building of impact. You've done all those things so incredibly, both on the court and off the court. And so many times players don't have that translation from on the court leadership and success to off the court. And so many people say that you're every bit as successful off the court and you're impacting your business career as you were as an incredible legendary basketball player. Why do you think that is?
Well, because I understood what I knew and what I didn't know, right? And so I know the pick and roll. I know the no-look pass. I know the hook shot. I know defense, offense, pick and roll. But what I didn't know was business. So what I decided to do was to make sure I got mentors to help me to learn business, also help me to understand how they became successful. I love meeting with people and understanding their journey. I'm attracted to knowledge, so I've always have been a guy who loved to learn and loved to improve and get better. So I asked Dr. Buss, who was the owner of the Lakers, to become my first mentor because I looked up to him and he decided to do that. And he really gave me a lot of great information and nuggets to take away. And he opened up the Laker books to me when that was unheard of, and showed me all the revenue streams of the Lakers. And then he told me, listen, it's not going to be easy. You got to put the work in and the time in. I said, hey, if that's what it's going to take for me to be successful in business, I'm willing to do just that. And so I was meeting with him all the time, lunch, dinner. See, what people don't understand is you got to put that time in. It's not going to come easy to you. So you have to say to yourself, okay, I'm willing to put the time in and willing to go where I have to go. See, that's another thing. A lot of breakfasts, a lot of luncheons, a lot of dinners you don't want to go to, but
be in New Jersey in the winter, have this conversation
with you, right? So I was willing to put in the work and the time because I took that from basketball. And so once I got to understand how to start a business, then I took off from there. And I think I'm successful because of the fact that I've been a winner my whole life. I don't know nothing but winning. And so that helped me to understand that I would do whatever it takes for me to win in business. And then I said, what's missing in urban America? Let me start where I grew up, right? And so I started there, and I knew that we were short on housing, we were short on retail, we were short on, in terms of places that people can go to have a meal or to go to the movie. So I just started in those areas where there were heavy demand, but nobody was meeting the demand. And so that's why I jumped into urban America.
No, that's powerful and inspiring for sure. And we have the blessing and privilege of interviewing, coming up shortly, Mr. Buss's daughter, Jeannie Buss. We're out in LA in a week. So we'll be.
I love Jeannie. We grew up together basically.
Wow.
And she'll probably tell you that too.
Yeah, we'll look forward to it.
Yes.
And I did a lot of homework coming in, so I did hear that Mr. Buss was a mentor of yours. And if you were to share with people in the audience, because what this show is so much about is what you've just perfectly captured, is the fact that we don't know how to do things, right? You weren't born knowing how to do a no-look pass. You're genetically gifted for sure, but you learned how to do things. And we're going to talk about Pat Riley in a little bit, if that's okay with you. But what is it, do you think, that people struggle with? That I had this conversation with Mike Tyson the other day, and he and Customato. How did you find your way to trusting Mr. Buss's advice and guidance? So he's your employer, right? And how did that work, and what were the friction points around that with him, and maybe even bridging into Pat Riley? Please, about people struggle to listen to mentors. Daniel, Mr. Miyagi, and the Karate Kid, right? He's fearful that Mr. Miyagi's using him and harming him. How did all that work out for you?
Yeah, that's a great question. Probably a question I've never really received or gotten from anybody else. Number one, you first got to understand that you belong in the room, right? A lot of times what happens is we're already defeated before we even get in the room, because oh my God, do I really belong there? Do I have what it takes to become a business person, right? And I think that's number one. Number two, the trust issue, the trust will come as you meet with people. As I met with Dr. Buss, he was sincere. I saw that, right? He really wanted to help me. So once you see that a person is sincere and they really open up to you and say, hey, I really want to help you reach your goals and dreams, right? Then that's where the trust, you say, you take that deep breath and say, okay, now I can open up to that person. And sure enough, there will be tests along the way, right? To make sure that person really believes in you and really want to help you. And every test, he was testing me, I was testing him. And then all of a sudden we let those guards down, and then we just really became first great friends. Forget owner and player. So we were that first. But then we became friends off the court, and then mentor and student after that. So there were steps to that relationship that we took. And listen, I trust very few people, right? But those who are in my circle that I do trust, it's a reason why I trust them, right? And vice versa. There's a reason why they trust me. But you said something that started to show off integrity, right? You talked about that being a big part of your show.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's a big part of trust, right? It's a big part of us understanding that once a person have that, and you see that in that person, right? And then you build your brand that way. See, I've always built my company, my brand with that. We're going to lead with that. We're going to lead with, hey, we believe in excellence, best in class. We're going to lead with, I'm a man of my word. So I told you I was showing up here. I'm here, yes, right? That's who I am.
And you were here early.
That's right. I'm a disciplined man.
Yeah.
I get up every morning at 4 o'clock without a clock, right? And I go to the gym, and then I'm in the office all day. So that's who I am. And so that's who I am as a ball player, but also that's who I am as a CEO and a businessman. So, and when I shake your hand, I'm gonna tell you what I can do. Also, I'm gonna tell you what I can't do, right? And I think that goes a long way as well. So whether it's clients, customers, or my partners, they trust me because of the fact that I'm gonna shake their hand and say, I'm gonna do these 10 things, but really I'm gonna do 15. Because I believe in one word, over deliver.
That's awesome.
So I wanna over deliver.
I think you've done a pretty spectacular job of that your whole life. Very clear. Thank you, certainly Magic, for that. So where did that come from? We're gonna keep this super tight on appropriate timing. Got a few topics to go still, but the power of this, I win. I'm gonna win. And I know your dad is a mentor. For sure, I saw that. Pat Riley, Chuck Daly. I'd love to talk a little about the Olympics and the complexity of that in a few. But where did that like I win. I'm about excellence. I'm about discipline. Like, where'd that come from? And please.
Yeah, I think first it had to come from my father, passed on. Then from there it went from my coaches that I played for, right? Whether it's junior high, high school, Coach Fox, Coach T. Code in college, and then Pat Riley. And so my father always said, you got to do everything the right way. And he didn't let me slide on that. You know, I remember a story that really changed my life forever. So my father had 2 or 3 jobs because he had 10 kids to support. So we had a trash hauling service. We would go pick up people's trash before. Now they got all the companies that do that for you at your home. So it was snow. I mean, Michigan, we get a lot of snow and it's cold. So my job was to get all the loose trash around the barrels and then put it on the truck. So this day was so cold, I did a half job, right? And I didn't chop the ice up and get the trash out of the ice and put it on the truck. So I ran to the cabin, I jump in, oh man, it's warm. By the time I got comfortable, my father opened that door, picked me up with one hand, took me back to the ice and said, son, if you do this job halfway, you'll do everything in your life halfway. You'll practice halfway. Everything at school, you know, your homework, you're gonna do halfway. And he said, you gotta learn to do everything the right way. So get a shovel, chop that ice up, and get that trash out of that ice and put it on the truck. That's when I became a perfectionist like my father. That means I do everything the right way. And so that's where it came from. And then my coaches pushing me. See, a lot of players don't want to get coached hard today, but I love being coached hard. So because of that, again, they helped me to develop not only on the court, but off the court as well. So that's why I'm a worker today. My father, my coaches, if you give me an assignment, trust me, it's going to get done. And in a timely fashion. As we all grew up, remember, we couldn't just look at our father like our kids today can say, well, why? We couldn't say why. Somebody tell you to go get that trash or go take it out. We had to get up and go take that trash out or something gonna happen to us, right? Yes. Now today, my grandkids always want to lead with why. I said, you lucky my parents wouldn't alive today to hear you say that, right? And so,
it even happens to you.
Yeah. So, and I had to tell them, I said, listen, I'm gonna make you a deal. I said, I'm not gonna do something to you. I get in trouble, right? Child abuse. But no, I just let them know that, listen, you want what you want, right? And I don't never question that. And I try to buy you the toy that you want, that you want, the sneakers that you want. And I don't question that. And I don't want you to question me. So when I ask you to do something, please do it. And see, my parents never said please. They had a belt waiting.
So can I jump into,
Yeah.
we have three quick clips that I think will be positive for today. So let's hit our first clip. I think it's 1980. And something happened in 1980.
Okay,
let's see what happened.
Here's the man of the hour, Magic Johnson. Magic, what do you have that makes you perform like this in these championship games?
Well, you know, I love to win, and I guess that's the thing. I go in thinking we can win any game that I play, despite, you know, Kareem wasn't in, and we want to say, hey, we did it for you, big fella, because you got us here, and we don't want to take nothing away from you.
It's over, and the most valuable player is Magic Johnson.
You know that guy?
I know that guy.
Pat Riley, Lakers, 80, Kareem, standards. Please share. What's that all about?
Well, when you think about that clip, number one, we were in the finals, Game 5 against Philadelphia, and my idol, I idolized Dr. J. That's crazy that I idolized the man, and now I'm playing against him in the World Championship.
Crazy.
So Kareem sprains his ankle in Game 5. That was a big game because the series was tied 2-2, so we had to win that game, which we did, to go back to Philly. So we're up 3-2, but Kareem has been pronounced that he's not going to play in Game 6. So once they announced that, we got to the airport, and I saw all my teammates' heads were down. I said, "What's wrong?" Didn't you hear Kareem can't play? I said, "So what? We're going to win anyway." And they were like, "Go sit down, rookie. What are you talking about? We can't win and beat Philadelphia without Kareem." I said, "We're going to win this game without Kareem." And so I had to do something, because sometimes you got to do something to shake up the atmosphere, make sure that they know that I was serious about what I said. So I asked the stewardess, could I go on the plane first, because Kareem sat in 1A, that's his seat, right? And so I sat in Kareem's seat, and as every Laker came by, I said, "Never fear, Magic is here." And so they started laughing like you just did.
Yeah.
And I said, I got 5 hours to work on that mindset and attitude, because your audience got to know that they got to have a mindset and an attitude of winning if you're going to be a business person. If you want to start off being an entrepreneur, if you want to be successful, then you got to think that you can be successful and that you can do it. And so I knew that if we went back and we had a mindset of that we're defeated before we even played the game, they were going to blow us out by 50 points. But if we had that mindset of we can win, we can still beat them, that we had a chance to win. And sure enough, I talked to them. By the time we landed in Philly, we played the game the next day. I had their mindset. They were ready, and we ended up winning. Now, if I'm going to say all that, I got to bag it up with action. So I became the first rookie in NBA history to be named Finals MVP. I scored 42 points,
15 rebounds,
7 assists in that game, and we ended up winning. And so I became the first rookie ever to be named NBA Finals MVP. So
playing center.
Playing
Kareem
center.
Abdul-Jabbar, not being there.
Yeah, well, I play center, guard, and forward. So
Crazy.
I believe that you have to have a winning mindset.
But why do you think that you had that belief different from most of the other players? Like, what was it? And we talked a little bit about your dad and the whole thing, but why was it different for you? Why does it always seem to be different for you? Where that happened, guys, we're not going to win. You're like, you're a rookie, and we're like, we're going to win. And why do you think that's different for you, even among the most elite, masterful athletes on earth, who had to have incredible mindsets too? Why, as a rookie already, were you different?
Well, it's all about, to me, preparation. I was always prepared for those moments. I live for those moments. And if I'm prepared, and if I understand how we're going to win, it's not just we're going to win. You have to have strategy behind that, right? And so how are you going to do it? So like I told our teammates, we're going to be faster than them. They're going to be bigger than us, but we got to run them and run them and run them. And that's what we did. And that was our advantage, the fact that we were smaller and quicker than them. And we used that to our advantage to win the game. So, yeah, it's something that you can just say, oh, we're going to win. No, you got to have strategy behind it. And then the number one thing, you got to execute on the strategy. See, people got to remember, business is about execution, right? And so you got to execute in business. And if you can do that, you give yourself a chance to win.
How did Dr. J relate to you after that, during that, after that? You know, he's this superstar, you're this emerging superstar, but a rookie. How did that feel for you? How did he react towards you? And, you know, after you guys won?
Well, let me tell you this story that very few people even know. So I'm probably saying this for the first time. So this is great. So I'm making a decision at Michigan State. We had just beat Larry Bird, that dude I hate, in the NCAA finals. And that game is still the #1 watched college basketball game in history, Indiana State versus Michigan State. So now I'm making the decision to turn pro. So I needed somebody to talk to. So I asked my coach, I want to call Dr. J. He was like, what? Can you give me Dr. J's number? I want to call him because I want to ask him what went in for him to make the decision to turn pro and leave college early. So he ended up finding a number. He called Philadelphia. They gave him Dr. J's personal number. I called him up and we talked about it. I said, I'm trying to make this decision whether to leave Michigan State or turn pro. He said, I'm going to do you one better. Guess what he said? I'm going to fly you out to Philadelphia.
What?
We're playing in the playoffs. I want you to come stay with me. What? I'm like fainting right now. I'm like going crazy. I'm going to stay at Dr. J's house.
During the playoffs?
Yeah, exactly. I told everybody, oh, I'm staying at Dr. J's house, you know. And so, sure enough, flew to Philly. He put me up at his house.
I mean, like we were running around talking about you coming here today.
And so he gave me so much information. I watched them play against the Hawks in the playoffs, and then I flew home. And now 6-8 months later, I'm playing them in the NBA Finals. Is that a trip
like,
or what?
I should have told you to stay in college. You could have a ring.
And then I'm beating my idol in the championship. So I don't know how he felt.
Did you guys ever talk about it?
Yes, we did talk about it. And it was like a trip for him. I just hosted you at my house.
That's bad manners.
I want to win.
Yeah, of course.
Let me tell you this about me. I don't care who I'm playing. I can be playing my mother. My daughter played point guard for the local high school. My wife tells me, play her one-on-one, you'll help her get better. I said, no, because I know who I am. I said, no, I don't want to play her one-on-one. But when your wife tells you to do something twice, you better get to it, right? You better get to it. So I said, okay, we go to 10. I let her get to 9. That was hard for me. That was real hard. But I let her get to 9. And then I crushed her from then on. My wife was so mad at me. She like, you could have let her win. No, I can't let nobody win. It's not who I am. It's not in my DNA. I'm not made up like that.
Wow. Well, and I only feel like contextualizing this in my listening. So before I went blind, just real quick, I was a Division I college recruit in baseball and football. I was a 4-year Division I starter at Columbia University. I was captain of my team senior year. So I have a listening for what you're sharing. I had incredible mentors athletically. So long before business, my background was built on sports. So these stories, these dynamics, these elements, I was a 3-sport player in high school, and I was one top 10 hitters Division I in the country my junior year. So I receive it and I'm present to it for what you're talking about, the mastery, the competitiveness, the spirit of it all. And
But more than that, you didn't let that hold you back. See, I came because I'm impressed with that.
Thank you.
That you got what I have, right? That gene of we're gonna win despite.
Amen.
And you're winning right now despite of that.
Yeah.
You're allowing, but you're sharing it. And so that's a powerful tool when you can share that with other people in terms of trying to help them to become successful. So God's really blessing you and you blessing other people. That's what it's about.
Amen. And I feel like you're saying Mr. Johnson right now. So amen, Mr. Johnson. Yeah. And for fun, I believe that influence is the only human attainable superpower. That's what Dr. Buss had, right? That's how he caused yeses, that's what you do off the court and on the court. You cause yeses in leadership. Right. So for fun, I have $1 million bet out that I can't be out-influenced on a neutral set of facts, that I challenge everybody out there for charity. Okay. So I love competing. Okay. So I amen to that. And I think that so much of business now and so much of sports and so much of all these challenges you have in the world are because people don't do what you did, which is step on that court and say, we're going to go win, and put yourself out there as that man in the arena. And that's why it's so inspiring to have conversations with just a champion like yourself. Yeah. So thank you for that. And can we step into, actually, if you don't mind, Pat Riley. So I did a lot of research, 5 championships together. Right. He's somebody who speaks a lot about mindset. Had a lot of conversations. Same type of question. How is that evolution, the doubts, the challenge, the trust build? His methodologies were unique. I've heard there was moments of, maybe not seeing things fully eye to eye. But what do you feel like sharing, please, about Pat Riley and coaching, mentorship, and leadership from that perspective?
Well, he coached me hard, and when you're going after the same goal and you have the same mindset, you're gonna bump heads. That's just the natural, but in a good way. I understood who was the leader, right, and I understood my role. But I loved Pat and still do. Pat's one of my best friends today.
Awesome.
But when he coached, he made it difficult because he stayed on top of you to be great. He knew that he had to push me every single day. And what he did was he held me to the standards of two guys, right? Michael Jordan and Larry Bird.
Wow.
And so he said, listen, I'm never going to let you take a day off or take a game off. I'm going to always stay on top of you because I'm holding you to those two standards right there. And that was the measuring stick for me, right? And so there was a number that he always had. And all three of us played over 700. That was like amazing if you got over 700. And so he made me so mad one day. So here we are. Chicago and Boston played before the Lakers. So when I got to the arena, their game was over. And we're getting ready to get started a couple hours from now. So Pat's on the board. He's writing up the game plan. And see, he knew what buttons to push with me. So he said, he's talking to the assistant coach named Bill. Bill, did you see what Larry Bird did tonight? Man, 45 points, 20 rebounds, 9 assists. Oh, man, that Bird is something. So he knew I was sitting in my seat. I'm getting mad now. I'm steaming. Okay, so about 20 minutes later, he said, Bill, Flash, wait a minute, bulletin material. Michael Jordan just scored 55 points. So he knew, oh, I'm mad now. I got to go out there and get a big triple-double. We got to win. So he knew sometimes it's what he said about those guys that would motivate me, right? And so what made him so great as a coach, he knew every single guy and what button to push with every single guy to make them go to their highest level, all right? And make sure that they understood that if you're going to play for the Lakers and we're going to win the championship, you got to be the best sixth man, the seventh man, the fifth man, on and on and on. Best point guard. Kareem, you got to be the best center. James Worthy, you got to be the best small forward, on and on. He just pointed to everybody. And everybody got to accept their role. He believed in that, right? And he believed in family. He preached family and team. Nothing goes outside the family. If we have an argument, it stays within the family. If we have a disagreement, it stays within the family. And so, but his main thing was, we're going to be the best conditioned team in all the NBA. And guess what? We were.
That's awesome.
We're going to be mentally and physically tough. And guess what? We were. That's how we're going to win the championship. And that's why we were in the finals. Guess what? 9 times in 12 years.
Crazy. Crazy. And beat Larry Bird 2 out of 3.
That's right. Beat Larry Bird 2 out of 3. That's right, Larry. Straight to camera. That's right, Bird, man. That's right. 2 out of 3 in the NBA and an NCAA championship, too. So when you have him on the show, you run this tape back to him. Let him see it, that the Magic Man had 3 out of 4.
3 out of 4, excuse me. 3 out of 4, because of the college.
That's right.
So thank you for that. We had Mike Eruzione from 1980 Miracle on Ice team, played her books on a couple months ago.
Right.
And it's just the patterns, Mike Tyson, Customato, yourself, Pat Riley, Mike Eruzione, Herb Brooks. It's the same things over and over again, that dynamic. It's just so powerful. So can we show you a second quick clip?
Okay.
Yeah. And this is going to be now Chuck Daly stepping into the Olympics and bringing together the greatest, I believe, the greatest sports team ever assembled.
Mm-hmm.
And P.S. basketball. I'm very integrous.
Right.
Basketball is my third favorite sport.
Okay.
You know, I played a little basketball growing up, and then I transitioned to wrestling in high school.
Right.
But I do believe, I was a huge Knicks fan back in the day,
Okay.
Patrick Ewing, that this is the greatest sports team ever assembled on the court of players. I authentically, in any sport ever, believe that. So please.
I was talking to Magic Johnson just before the game. There was an intensity in his face that I hadn't seen in some time. They thought they played well against Lithuania. Croatia is better.
Final seconds. The U.S. has defeated Croatia 117 to 85.
How'd that feel for you,
Well,
winning for your country?
That was nothing but God, really. You know, for all that I had been through, to be able to be on that stage with those other 9 guys who, that team is the only team that every single guy is in the Basketball Hall of Fame. That's amazing.
Crazy.
No other team can claim that.
Crazy.
Right? And so with me being out of basketball, had been retired, to be able to come back and represent my country, represent, you know, the NBA, United States, and then play with 2 of my heroes too. All of those guys are my heroes, but I always, on my bucket list, I've always wanted to play with Larry and Michael and get a chance to play with both of those guys. Oh my goodness. I just fell to my knees crying, saying thank you to God for allowing me to open up that door for me to be able to play in the Olympics, and just to make sure that, see, 2 things happened. It wasn't, for me, it wasn't just about the gold medal. It was about also showing people that you can be strong and still, with something that you're dealing with, an ailment, you can still be successful in life. And so you're showing everybody right now, you with being blind, you saying, hey, I can still do great things, and you're doing it. So right now you're a hero to so many people who watch this show, but also so many people who might not watch this show, who just meet you, just run into you, and you can change their life forever just by meeting you because of your walk in life. So my walk in life on that stage changed a lot of people's lives, and said, hey, if you're dealing with something, you can still be successful. You can reach the highest of the highest and win a gold medal despite me living with HIV. See? And so that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. And I thank you, Mr. Magic Johnson. I was at Columbia University at the time, you know, becoming captain or great during that 1992 time frame. And it was a complicated, scary time in a lot of different ways for a lot of people. And the resiliency, the power, the vulnerability for dealing with something that had, you know, the negative stigma that it did, it was so inspiring. And with great humility, I just throw out a concept. You know, I believe that God makes all things work together for good. I heard you reference God. I wouldn't have said it if you didn't. And I believe that that journey that you went through, and I'm sorry for all the pain and challenges that would have surrounded it, was an unbelievable blessing for so many humans on this earth for hundreds of different reasons. But really, I thank you. And that was one of the most inspiring moments in United States history, and truly, I believe, world history. What happened in that team and what was going on personally for you and the complexities of the time. And thank you. And how did Chuck Daly, to move back into leadership for a moment, how did he put you guys together? I mean, every Hall of Famer, every person.
Right.
How does that work? Because it's totally different than Herb Brooks and Mike Eruzione, because all those guys were kids and the world changed and now you could have professionals. How did he handle all that? And I've heard you compliment him so beautifully, but what do you think he did so well to make all that work?
Well, I think Chuck, I mean, the architect of this whole dream team. And him picking the right players with the right mindset and the right attitude, it was all about the team. He said day one, this is, oh man, awesome. When he walked into the locker room, he said, all right, you already know you're not going to get the same shots that you normally get. You're not going to get the same minutes. Most of you play 40 minutes a night. You're not even going to get close to that on this team. Most of you understand that you probably take 30 shots. You can take 20 to 30 shots on your team. You might get 10 shots, right? So you have to be okay with that. And then he said, Michael Jordan's going to be the captain of the dream team. Michael Jordan stood up and said, no, I don't deserve to be captain of the dream team. Larry and Magic should be captain of the dream team. Wow. Everything changed.
Wow.
Everybody had to leave their ego at the door at that moment and come to practice, to work hard, come to the games, to play as a team, and let's blow everybody out. And once, don't forget that. And that's what we did, right? Yeah. We put a show on. But let me say this, what happened, we didn't know we had this type of effect. I remember one guy fouled Michael Jordan, and he started crying in the middle of the game. I can't believe I fouled Michael Jordan. Oh my goodness. And Michael's sitting there, we're all sitting there, man, he's really crying, happy that he fouled Michael. I mean, but we didn't understand the power, right, of the dream team, and that allowed us to really understand what these guys were feeling playing against us and finally meeting us for the first time in their lives. So we changed basketball forever. That's why there's so many international players into the NBA today, because of the dream team.
Yeah. And what I'm hearing you say, received, thank you, is that Chuck Daly created just like really clear agreements with everybody.
That's right.
Had the right mindset, had the right players on the right seats in the bus, and everybody went along with it. Any friction points, any complicated moments, or it all sort of was pretty smooth? Yeah,
it was smooth all the way. Chuck Daly was a straight shooter, so you respected that, right? Mm-hmm. And so he would come in and say, Magic, you're not going to start tonight. John Stockton, we got to get him some starts. So he's going to start tonight. No problem. You know, see, when a coach is straight up with you and tell you the day before, then you got it. Yeah. So Chuck Daly was always honest. He was the best dressed coach because he could dress. Man, his suits were incredible. Him and Pat Riley were incredible dressers. And so we understood that he had our backs too, because leaders, you know, once their employees or the people who work for them, once those people understand that the CEO or the president got their back, they'll go through a wall for them. And sure enough, we will go through a wall for Coach Daly, and I would go through a wall still today for Pat Riley. Wow. Because of the fact he always put me in a position to be successful, and he never lied to me. He always told me the truth. He was always honest with me, whether I played great or I didn't play great. And he was the same guy. See, a leader has to be consistent every single day. Mm-hmm. And that's what you are, and that's what I am. That's why so many people listen to your podcast and follow you, because you're consistent. And also, too, the integrity you talk about, well, you have it. So that's what it's all about, right? Just being who you are. And then we both understand our purpose. See, God gave us a purpose. So you're living out your purpose, and I'm living out my purpose. Mm-hmm. And that's why I had the toy drive just 2 days ago. All those inner city kids who wouldn't have a great Christmas, I made sure they had a great Christmas by supplying toys to them. And Thanksgiving, we did the same thing, making sure they had turkey and chicken and dry goods and on and on and on. Wow. Because that's my purpose. And so that's what it's all about.
I just had a quick thought. I'm not sure if this will be helpful, if it's too late or not, but would you know what to do with an extra 10,000 toys?
Oh, I know what to do with them. That's
okay. So we're gonna provide an extra 10,000 toys.
My goodness, man, that's a blessing right there.
Yeah. So
I always know what to do with toys or food, because there's so many people in need today, you know. And you know what's beautiful is that the fact that you and I are blessed, I mean, beyond, we probably never thought we'd be in the position that
No
we're
way.
in.
My
And-
mom pushed a hot dog cart in
Right.
Jersey City when I was a kid.
and mine worked at the school cafeteria, so we understand. And but here we are, and they all are proud of us, right? Our families, our parents are proud of what we're doing and what we have become.
Wow. Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Final couple minutes here is, what do you do from here? What happens? You know, you have the blessing of living another 100 years on earth, and a miracle happens. You have all that time. Between this day and that final day, what more happens for you? And if you think about it, what would you want to be remembered for?
Oh, I'm gonna be remembered for really the impact that I made off the court, and you know, the jobs that I've given people, the scholarships. We've given over 10,000 minority student scholarships. You know, a lot of them have the grades to go, but don't have the financial means to go. The technology centers that we built in the poorest neighborhoods, that kids can have access to a computer. You know, I can keep going. Those are the things that I'll be remembered for, and I want to be remembered for. It's not everything else. There's always going to be guys winning championships in basketball, or, you know, guys being MVP. But the impact in people's lives, to understand that they need help and you're there to help them, you're there to hug them, high five them. You know, that's what I want to be remembered for. And last but not least, that I did everything the right way, you know, and that I never cheated somebody. I never, you know, kids and people who want my picture or autograph, I try to accommodate them always. And so, you know, that's who I am. I'm built like my mother and my father. My mother gave back, and she taught us how to give back and to help thy neighbor. And so I got that in me from her and her smile. And then I got my work ethic and my strength and my toughness from my father. And so that's a beautiful combination. And they both taught us to love the Lord and to make sure that we give back and help. And so nothing has changed. So I'm still that guy. And I'm glad I married somebody who also believes in that too. Cookie believes in that as well, giving back and affecting change across this country of ours.
Oh. Well, Mr. Magic Johnson, I hope this is not the end of the beginning. In researching, you know, about you, your mission, your purpose, education, technology, you know, read all about it. We have an AI company. I'm not asking for anything, but I want to give value, because you open doors everywhere, and we want to change the world. We want to solve problems that are enormous, have been unsolved. So I can't tell you how grateful I am that you blessed us and honored us with your presence, your mastery, your identity, the power of your identity. I am not confused. Thank you for bringing that to the Sean Callagy Unblinded podcast. May God bless you. And I hope every single dream you still have, which are so many for people and changing lives, comes true. Merry Christmas, and thank you, sir.
Well, Merry Christmas. Thank you too. To everybody out there, happy holidays. And listen, you know, it's hard for a successful person to still be willing to say, I want to help the world. And for me to come on this show, doing my research on you and what the show was all about, because I don't do a lot of podcasts.
I know.
I hope they told you that.
They did.
But the only reason I'm doing this one is because our conversation wasn't just about leadership. It's about the Lord, about God, it's about giving back. And that's why I came, because the man that you are. Also, you said, you know what? I'm not going to let this stop me for being great. I mean, look, you are amazing, and you're doing amazing things. And yes, you had more hits and you were doing great, there, but guess what? You said, you know what? I can have more hits with my podcast and my business, AI and the things that you're doing. So the greatness haven't stopped just because you're dealing with something. That's what I like about you. So you and I are gonna do some things together.
Thank you.
And I'm happy. Thank you for the gift of the 10,000
Yes, sir.
toys. And I'm gonna tell you where, and you're gonna see where all 10,000 went to, because I'm a man. You just don't give me something. I'm gonna show you what I did with the 10,000, okay? And then we're gonna do other things. I like the AI thing. We're gonna do some AI together. All right, God bless you.
I have
Thank
a long way to go to earn your trust. I'm gonna earn it. And I promise you that I'm gonna make sure before I leave this planet, if I do earn it, that I will bring more value to your life than anything that we have thought about and talked about. I promise.
You got it.
Thank you,
and,
sir.
And my promise is I received that.
Thank
Okay?
God
All right.
bless. Thank
What
you,
a
Mr.
show.
Magic Johnson.
What a show. Thank you, sir. I think we're gonna take a picture. Go and get one straight like this, bro.